We're going to start using a ball to hit the feet, hips, and shoulders. And where the shoulders are concerned, we could do front, across the chest, or back around the shoulder blade, and I'll demonstrate both. To start, ball goes on the floor. You're going to stay relatively close to the wall so you can keep control of the ball and can put enough pressure into the ball to feel some work happening. So working all those big areas of the foot, like up and down the arch, up toward the ball of the foot, moving across the ball of the foot toward the outside. If you find a spot that really speaks to you, you can hang out a little bit longer or put a little more direct pressure on it. But first, just explore around and figure out where you need to work the most. And then in successive sessions, you can focus a little bit more on that neighborhood. Get back toward the heel. Try to get onto the heel a little bit, but really focus on those parts of the instep and heading toward the outside of the foot that might speak to you the most. And I'd spend about 60 seconds working around the foot, and then we'd switch to the other side and we'd work the other foot for 60 seconds. Then we're going to come up the wall to the hip. So we're going to put the ball under the hip or under the glute against the wall, starting relatively close to the tailbone, relatively high on the glute, so up toward the top of the hip crest or the top of the glute as it heads toward the hip crest. And we're just going to kind of hula side to side, looking for anything that stands out to us. Now, if you hit a spot that kind of makes you seize up, stop, pause, try and soften onto the ball, work your way around a little bit more. Oh, I got a lot of stuff coming to the outside of the hip. We can work up and down a little bit. If you feel like you're having to squat too much, you might need to reposition the ball a little higher. Then working toward the side of the hip. So I'm going to bring the ball up a little bit because I'm getting too squatty. And then work around to the outside, side body, across that hip glute neighborhood. And put some pressure into it, but not so much that it just tightens you up completely. We do want to be able to relax into that a little bit. And then do the other side. So 60 seconds on one side, 60 seconds on the other, just working around again from the center to the outside, stay off the really bony stuff. Then the shoulders. The first set of shoulder stuff, easiest to do is up in the shoulder blade. So we place the ball between the space between the spine and the shoulder blade, and just work a little bit around that shoulder blade neighborhood. Gently, gently look for spots that really speak to you. If you feel something that really talks to you, you can hang out on it, try and soften on it, work your way around. Same idea as with the hip. If it starts getting too low on you and you're winding up squatting way down and it becomes a whole different exercise, move the ball up a little bit. Anything that really speaks to you, again, hang out. You can move the arm around a little bit so we get the shoulder blade moving a little bit away from that neighborhood. And again, 60-ish seconds on both shoulders. If you want to work on the front, we want to get the ball across the top of the pec, under the collarbone. And it looks a little funny sometimes because you've got to get close to the wall to do that. And I've seen this done up against a door frame or a squat rack to get a little more pinpoint. But we're going to just open up this arm. You can move the arm around a little bit like we did when we were on the back of the shoulder. Just working your way around that underside of the collarbone, down into the pec a little bit. Just move the ball around as you need to. Again, if it gets too squatty, reposition so it doesn't become a really effortful exercise, and you can pay attention to where you're feeling those hot spots in the tissue. 60 seconds or so, then hit the other side. If you want to do front and back, you can. If you want to do just the front or just the back, also fine. 60 seconds. So grand total of about 6 minutes to hit all of those spots.